What's up, guys? It's Casey Zogelman, aka the Fourth Sanderson Sister, coming at you with another Hocus Pocus 2 video. So, one of my main hobbies is cosplaying. It's a ton of work putting together costumes that look as identical as possible to the character you're wanting to portray, or creating something from scratch to do a mashup of some kind, like my Jedi Knight version of Mary Sanderson. So, when the Sanderson Sisters Costume Contest scene played for the very first time in Hocus Pocus 2, you can imagine how much physical pain that I and other cosplayers felt when the sexy, slutty versions of the Sanderson sisters won the competition when other costumes were arguably better. That hit a little bit too close to home. It was a little too real. As time and again, this is what tends to happen at costume contests, except for like cosplay ones, when others have poured their hearts and souls into a cosplay only to lose to the sexy nurse because the judges turned into Hanna-Barbera cartoons.
I want a diamond ring, I want some bracelets and everything. Daddy, you better get the best for me. Hey, Daddy.
So today, we're going to deliver some justice to the other contestants of the costume contest, and I'll tell you the group who really should have won the trophy. Now, I will still include the Sandersonettes in all fairness, and I will not be including the actual witches because who looks more like them than they do? Nobody. My criteria for the costume contest will be like an actual cosplay contest. Who is your character? Is this costume homemade, commissioned, or store-bought? How much work went into the entire look? That means makeup, hair, props, etc. How accurate to the character/person is this outfit? Please specify if costumes are a mashup or an alternate version, etc. Normally, there would be a question about what materials were used to create the costume if it's homemade, but as I can't actually ask that question to these folks, I'm leaving it out. I can already tell you that this contest was more than likely looking for accuracy when it came to judging, as most of the groups were shooting for that. The two I'd make the exception for would be the Sandersonettes and the Drag Sisters, but even then, with the exception of Drag Sarah, the Drag Sisters looks were still shooting for accuracy with a little pizzazz, so I will give the Sandersonettes and the Drag Sisters points for creativity. However, the name of the game is who looks the most like the Sanderson sisters. So now that I have acknowledged the effort and creativity, it's time to get down to brass tacks. Added note, I am reacting to and judging these looks in real time. From here out, nothing is scripted, and I'll be making notes along the way for each group, just like a real cosplay judge would. So we're gonna start with group 1 that I'm calling Family Dynamics because I'm pretty sure this is a family doing things together, which is cute. So Family Dynamic consists of mother, father, and daughter, I think. They're all looking disappointed because the Sanderson sisters walked on stage, and they look amazing because they're them. So, these costumes, the first question, as always, is this store-bought, homemade, etc.? Think there's actually a mixture going on here. So there's a mixture of store-bought and homemade, even thrifting. So we will start with Sarah first. This Sarah, the Family Dynamic Sarah, that's the Spirit Halloween costume. That's the first version of the Spirit Halloween costume of Sarah Sanderson. How do I know this? I owned it. I owned it. I still have it somewhere, and I'm planning on cutting it up for another cosplay. So Sarah's was store-bought. And there was no wig. There was no wig involved. That is her natural hair. Because it's not long, but it is blonde. That is her natural hair. Not necessarily her natural hair color, but it could be. Very minimal makeup, where Sarah is very heavily made up, especially around the eyes. Sarah's got a lot of eyeshadow up here. There's barely any eyeshadow happening there. Bare minimum lipstick, no freckle on the chin, no necklace, She's basically just wearing a store-bought dress, and that's that. Now we're going to move over to Winifred. This was definitely more of a thrifted, maybe sewn together, homemade look. So I'm going to say Winifred actually looks more homemade than she does, than Sarah or Mary do. So Winnie's homemade. I hope I can read my chicken scratch later. It looks like there was some time put into this. Mom was definitely putting in the effort here. Probably made the overcape out of material. It looks like that was sewn. There was an attempt at a clasp that looks pretty good. Not accurate, but it looks pretty good. The shirt underneath also looks like something she could have possibly thrifted, but it also around the bust area kind of looks like it was sewn together from maybe two different pieces. So I'm gonna make that a note. So that looks really good. Like I said, the overcoat part looks really good. It looks like something was actually like she bought the material, she did the sewing herself. She tried an attempt at the high collar, which looks good. The makeup is very accurate, minus rosy cheeks. She's missing rosy cheeks. And she did not try to disappear her eyebrows, which is very hard to do. So, like, I don't blame her one little bit because this is a pain in the butt trying to do that. I've done it twice, and after that I'm like, no, she's just gonna have eyebrows because this sucks. This is awful. My props to Bet for doing that because yowza. But her hair, that's her real hair. Again, we're going au naturel, but I like that she attempted the style. Hairstyle is good. It's not perfect, but it's really good for using your own hair, and she even attempted some, like, hairspray to get the red color. It wasn't her whole head, and I think she could have benefited for maybe a little bit more red, on her hair, but Mama looks pretty good. She is missing Winnie's necklace. I think that's probably going to be a big thing that I say a lot with these cosplays. But she definitely at least made her outfit, even if it was like closet cosplay sewn old pieces together. Now, moving on to Mary. Mary is very thrifted. This is a very thrifted look. Dad clearly didn't want to be there, but he was doing it for his kid. So props to the dad for doing that. Mary is very thrifted. Like, you can't tell me that's not a thrifted look. That consists of a orange button-down shirt, that you could find at any Goodwill or thrift store, that is open. So no attempt to even close that off. The vest, I'll say the vest might look a little homemade. Probably DeWifey made the vest. The vest looks pretty homemade. That looks like a pattern was used. It was cut out. It was sewn. The vest looks nice, but it's very minimalistic. It doesn't have any laces on it. That holds it together. Again, it's open. There's no rings on the bottom. The skirt looks like an old school uniform or a standard plaid skirt, again, that you could find at any thrift store. Colors are inaccurate to the skirt. Because her skirt, the plaid is actually more black and white and gray, as opposed to the red plaid we see going on there. That's more like a Scottish kilt going on. Which, who knows, they could be Scottish, in which case, cool. He could be wearing a kilt. The undershirt just kind of hanging out is not a great look. Frankly, I would have just buttoned up the shirt to hide the undershirt, because that looks like, oh my god, that just doesn't look great, man. It just looks like I'm here against my will. So I'm not in love with that. The wig, I can tell you right now, that wig is Spirit Halloween, because I have that wig. I have a better wig now. I actually did an unboxing of that wig, and you can watch it by clicking on this thing right here. So yeah, that is definitely store-bought. It probably got it at the same time as they got the costume for the little girl at Spirit Halloween. I know that wig. I have worn that wig. It's not a bad wig. It's actually one of the more stylish ones, but it's very uncomfortable. That's not true. That was probably the one that had the most room in it. But yeah, Dad don't look so great. Dad looks fine. The most minimal makeup I've ever seen. We slapped on some lipstick. We're not even attempting the crooked mouth. So that's my judging for family dynamic. Overall, not the worst. There was some effort put in. There was clearly some effort put in, but not a lot of effort. A little more effort could have been given by these folks, at least by the dad. The dad did not want to be there. Should have gotten an aunt or something. He did not want to be there. He's like, why did you make me do this? It's a good thing I love you. So, yeah, he was aight, but yeah, I think that one was a little rough, but I applaud them for having the confidence to get up there, because it's not easy to do that. So next up we have group number 2, and it is the Sandersonettes. So we're gonna break this down like we should. We're gonna judge them on accuracy. Okay, so I'm gonna go from left to right just like I did last time. So Mary is up first in this group. I'm gonna go on and say her outfit's a lot more accurate. It doesn't look necessarily homemade, but it does look like maybe it was partially homemade, like adjusted. Pre-bought pieces that were put together is the words I'm looking for. Pre-bought pieces that were adjusted, add-ons, etc., like the rings. So that's good. I'm alright with that. Her top side is definitely more accurate. The vest is a little bit more accurate because it's actually closed. It has the lacing, which I appreciate. And it has the rings on the bottom like Mary's, which is great. Again, but it's made of leather, or faux leather or whatever. Either way, it's definitely more of a leather base, which hers is not. Hers is cloth. So the leather material kind of hurts it a little bit, and the zipper is also a bit of a if you're gonna do a vest like a corset, it needs to be more of a corset. They make corsets like that. You can make corsets like that. So while I applaud the adjustments that were made, there are some minor technicalities. Hers wasn't tied up here, which again makes me think pre-bought. The shade of orange, she's got the puffy shirt a little more right, but Mary doesn't expose her shoulders. She keeps her shoulders covered because she's the most humble of the three. So I think the exposing of the shoulders was not the best move. Sorry about the voices. They're just kind of coming out. Think there's a lot of American Idol judges in here. The shade of orange is too light. It is way too light. Heck, I can't even tell if that's orange or peach. It might be peach. Either way, not correct. The apron. She's got an apron this time, or at least a better plaid-looking skirt that's a little more accurate. I'm just gonna put skirt / apron because I really can't tell. And I know all three of them wear stiletto heels. Mary does not wear heels. No. She no wear the heels. She doesn't wear the heels. Her earrings are inaccurate. Mary doesn't wear hoops. Again, that's just too much for her. Mary's a very humble, very conservative dresser. She's one of the only ones who doesn't have her bazoombas everywhere. I understand they were going for a different look, but again, I'm looking at accuracy for this specific contest because that's what everybody else was going for. So the earrings were inaccurate. Hair is not great. Hair is... It's a top knot. It's just a top knot. That's... No, even the dad had a wig. Come on. He didn't even want to be there and he had better hair going on. So top knot does not equal Mary hair. A little disappointed in the hairstyle. But, everything else looks okay. But yeah, I don't know. I think she's probably like the most inaccurate. But the makeup, I will say, is pretty good. She's got the right shade of lipstick. She even got the freckle by her nose on her lip, which is good. No attempt at a crooked mouth, which isn't great. Nobody seems to be trying to do that, and it makes me sad because that's like her big defining trait. Like, come on, people, try. The makeup is subtle enough that it does fit Mary. Like I said, she's got the freckle. Everything looks good there. I'm impressed with the makeup overall on this Mary specifically. So moving on to Winifred. Whew. Okay. Woof. Winifred. I don't even know where to begin. I wouldn't know if this was Winnie. I wouldn't know this was Winnie if you were to say this is a Winifred Sanderson costume. I'd be like, oh, okay. I thought it was a cage dancer. I think this is another one that might have been pieced together a little bit, but not much. I think this was more of a homemade situation. So I applaud the homemade costume or a little thrifting might have gone into it, but I think the shirt is probably mostly homemade. Again, kind of like Mary, adjustments were made, pre-bought pieces, and then added the frills, added the gold trim, added some other stuff. Like, I think the undershirt was the only thing that was bought. I think she might have made the jacket. So that's good. Points for that. I really wouldn't know this is Winifred if you told me. That's the only... You would have to explain that this is Winifred Sanderson to me. Because I'm like... No, I don't see it. Mary at least looks a little bit like Mary. Winifred looks nothing like Winifred with this design, and it doesn't work. I'm not being biased. I just literally wouldn't know that this is Winifred. I'm sorry, this just is not accurate at all. But again, jacket was homemade, so they get points for that. Sorry, I keep bumping the camera. I'm trying to write and move the book. It's a little hard. I'm sure editing Casey's taking care of some of this stuff. The craftsmanship is good. Like, it is good. She at least has a necklace. Not an accurate necklace, but she has a necklace nonetheless, so points for that. Um, the skirt looks fine, but there's really no underskirts. It's just a green skirt. So that's fine. Again, you at least got the color scheme right. But no, the costume's fine. The wig is I wouldn't know it's Winnie. Wig just apart from the color, it looks like it reminds me of that episode of That's So Raven where she and Chelsea dressed up as disco divas. That's what that reminds me of. um, good episode, by the way. One of my favorites. It's very funny. The style for this wig just does not give Winifred at all. It doesn't give any Winnie energy. There's no Winergy here. And now that everybody has stopped watching because of that horrible pun, we'll keep going. The makeup is too natural. The makeup is too natural. It doesn't. My biggest note is, and I'm repeating myself, it doesn't reflect Winifred. Her lipstick covered her whole mouth. Winnie has tiny rosebud lips. She has tiny rosebud lips. I'm sorry. There was no attempt at buck teeth, either. No attempt at teeth whatsoever. I really hope I can read this chicken scratch in a little bit. And the hoop earrings, again, too big. Winnie doesn't wear those. She wears these like little gold charm earrings. They're flashy enough. They're not super flashy. Too flashy on the earrings. Winnie is this is not Winifred. I'm sorry. She doesn't wear a barrette in her hair, and we got a barrette in the hair. This does not reflect Winifred Sanderson at all. I'm sorry, it doesn't. So I'm just gonna move on to Sarah, and again, I would not know that this is Sarah Sanderson. She looks like she's wearing a prom outfit. It looks like a prom dress. It looks like a prom dress. It's very, very bedazzled. Yes, Sarah is a flashy person. In more ways than one. But this area, too bedazzled. She lets her personality be the thing that shines over her costume. Her costume is enough, but the pink, too much pink. There's too much pink going on. Huge necklace, which Sarah wears a tiny beaded one. But points for a necklace. The makeup's decent. It's decent. The lipstick's right. She's got her freckle on her chin. But no eyeshadow happening up here. She's got dark eyeshadow, people. And she's got dark eyebrows. And nobody is attempting this. No eyeshadow. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. This doesn't reflect Sarah at all. The sleeves are nice, but they're white lace. Or pink lace. No, they're white lace. But at least it does look homemade. Or adjusted. I mean, she could have taken pieces from her prom dress, I guess. Yeah. The only one of these I might be able to tell as a Sanderson sister is Mary. Winnie and Sarah would have to explain who they are to me. Because you look nothing like the character. You look nothing like the character. You look nothing like them. Mary's the only one that I would probably give a pass on. A small pass, but it would be a pass. So, it's not looking good for them. And again, it's not. I'm judging this how a cosplay judge would. So, I applaud effort where effort is due. The adjustments are good. If they made some of this stuff homemade, fabulous. I can't tell that that's the Sanderson sisters. I can't tell. So, moving on to group 3, which helps me a little bit more. Not want to weep. Um, helps me not want to weep. And it's the drag sisters. Effort was put in here. Effort was put in. And it makes me happy. Again, I'm going to go left to right. Like I've been doing. So we're going to start with Drag Mary. The hair is perfect. The hair is accurate. I'm not going to say perfect. It's at least accurate. Hair is accurate. Thank you. Finally, somebody. That is a good wig. It's a good wig. The shape is good. The stem is good. This is good. It even got the spider clip in there. That's a tiny detail a lot of people, including myself, miss. Spider clip is big points, huge points. Like, I give major points for that. The fact that you noticed that detail and you put it in your wig. Good job. Good job. This is clearly a homemade outfit. These are pros. These are pros. These were homemade. I cannot argue any store-bought, anything like that. Homemade costumes, 100%. So a lot of work was clearly put into these. So that automatically gives me hope and points. Gives them points. Now, I do have to dock some points because of accuracy. Mary's sleeves look like Winnie's sleeves. They are very flowy. And Mary's cuff at the wrists. So they don't move too much. I finally found a comfortable place to write. They're too flowy, I'm sorry to say. They look nice. They look very nice. I love the lace work. I like that we got the color scheme correctly on the costume. Color scheme looks great. Maybe a little too much purple. There's not a lot of purple in her outfit. There's a little bit. Is teeny tiny. But it's not a lot. I'm gonna dock some points for the too much purple in the sleeves. But again, vest is laced. So the vest looks good. Has the lace. I can't tell from this shot if it has the rings, but I'm pretty sure it does. Because I remember seeing later when she spreads her arms out a little bit more, I can see a little bit more of it. The makeup is good. Makeup's actually probably some of the best. Makeup, let's be honest with ourselves. Makeup on this group is flawless. The makeup is flawless here. I have to give them their dues for that. The only thing really bothering me here is the amount of purple. It is the amount of flow for Mary's sleeves when hers cuff. The wig is missing some highlights of the purple, but that's a minor issue. um, but it does hurt accuracy just a little bit. It's not. It's probably really. It's actually really good. Um, it's really good. So I think the Mary one is really good. Not perfect, but good. Now I'm gonna move on to drag Winnie. Um, Thank you again. The hair. Thank you. You got it right. Somebody finally is putting in some gosh darn effort. Again, dress is obviously homemade. Slightly missing the high collar. Like it's there, but it's not pumped up. So I am gonna put down that we're missing the high collar, which isn't. It's not great, but it's there. But then again, so was the moms from Family Dynamic. We're missing a necklace, which I really find shocking for this group. Uh, can't believe we are missing the necklace for Winifred. Don't love that. Earrings are good. Uh, might be a little subtle, but they're good. The hair is perfect, except for the charm crown thing in the front. But the hair is spot on apart from whatever that is in the front. It looks like a crown, but I can't tell. So I'm just going to put down crown because that's what it looks like. Very good. She got the clasp right. Winnie's clasp on the overcoat is correctly done. It's the little details that are earning points with me right now. The clasp is perfect. Let's see here. What else are we getting? Somebody actually went for the nails too. Nails are perfect. And I'd say they're a little short, but so are Winifred's in the second movie, so I'm not gonna dot points for that. That would be dumb. So, here's where I gotta get to the nitty gritty. And I hate to do it because it is a really good costume. The shades of green are way too light. They're just... That's like electric lime green almost. I don't even know. It's more of a yellow green, really. But they're not correct because Winnie wears dark green. She wears dark green. There's almost too much gold. Like, she's got gold in there, but there's almost too much of it. With the stripes, I don't like the stripes on the dress, which I can't tell if that's lace embroidering or... Let me take a closer look here. It looks like lace that might have been ironed on. Which don't knock that stuff, by the way. I've used it in some things and it helps a lot, but it kind of hurts here because the mom in the Family Dynamic had the more patterny stuff correct. This one's kind of missing the Winnie pattern where Family Dynamic had it. A little bit more. I'm not going to say it was perfect because it wasn't, but it had more of an accurate pattern than this does. But again, this looks really nice, but the shades of green and the pattern are kind of hurting. The sleeves are great. The sleeves are very flowy, which is Winnie's thing. But yeah, the shades of green and the amount of gold is kind of hurting me a little bit. I don't love that. But that freaking hair is perfect. Hair's perfect in every way, and it makes me so happy. The makeup is also finally spot on. I'm so happy about the makeup. Oh, it's wonderful. We got the eyeshadow correct, because that's the right shade of eyeshadow. We got the rosy cheeks finally. We got the rosebud lips. We got somebody using the teeth. We've got no eyebrows happening. Somebody went as far as to do that. The makeup for this is chef's kiss. It is mwah. The hair is mwah. A lot of it is. But I have to dock those points for the color scheme, too much gold, and there's just not enough green going on here. That's where my points go down for this Winifred. Everything else, though, sweet Jesus, the face and the hair, thank you. Finally. So, here is where we're gonna lose some points. And I don't like saying that because everything up to this point has gone so well for them. Sarah falls into that category of, I think you might have to tell me who you are for me to go, oh, that's who you're doing. And it's for tiny things that, well, not really tiny things, they're kind of bigger things that I have to kind of get a little mad at. I see more Rapunzel than I do Sarah. Let me explain. The hair is too big. I know that's a thing in drag. But again, I'm judging this as a cosplay contest, not a drag show. The hair is too big. I'm treating everybody equally. I feel like there are gonna be some people who are like, oh, you're getting a little too nitpicky here. No, I am judging this as a cosplay contest and looking for character accuracy. Everybody is on even playing field. I am making the notes as I'm going along. You guys have seen me do it. The hair is too big. It's got the waves. It's too big. Sarah doesn't have big hair like the other two. Her hairstyle is the most normal out of the three. It's too big. But the waviness is perfect. I gotta give that credit where credit's due. The waviness is perfect. It's not too much, it's not too little. It's just too big. It's too high up here. Little Dolly Parton going on. Which, Dolly Parton is a national treasure, so there's nothing wrong with that, except in this case. The bust area is good. And the shoulders are exposed, which she has done. So I'm good with that. Those are good. So that area is fine. Too much lace happening. There's too much lace going on. She doesn't have a lot of lace happening there. So I gotta say there's too much lace happening around here. But the embroidery part looks a lot more accurate to Sarah's vestment. So the embroidery is good. I hate tearing into this person like this, but I have to. The sleeves are inaccurate. I'm sorry, they're inaccurate. They're too Winifred. Sleeves are just straight up inaccurate. She doesn't have flowy sleeves, and they're not purple. She has dark red netted sleeves. In the second movie, they're spider webs. But I digress. They're netting. They're not tulle. And they're a different color. So, I have to dock points for that. I also have to dock points for the following. The nails are too long. Winnie has the long nails. Sarah has short nails. Which is a very interesting behind the scenes story, but we don't have time for that today. She's got short nails. Again, I know that's a thing in drag. This is not a drag show. This is a cosplay contest. How I am judging this. Nails are too long. The skirt, however, looks pretty accurate. There's the right amount of puff, but it might be too big. She has one little section that has a little puff, but it looks like the whole thing's kind of spilling out like Cinderella's dress. Again, another scenario that would have been fine, but the color scheme altogether is good. Color scheme is good. It's pretty on the spot minus the sleeves. However, I gotta move to the makeup. The eyes are perfect. Thank you, Jesus. Somebody finally got the eyeshadow. Somebody's finally using eyeshadow. It's about dadgum time. So that's a point. Good point there. Got the freckle on the chin. That's good. Problem is, the lipstick is too light. Sarah has dark lips. So, it's my last bit of judging for that. Everything else is fine with the makeup, but the lipstick is too light. She has darker lips than that. She wears a darker shade of lipstick. And we're missing a necklace. Again, this shocks me from this group. I'm surprised that there is no necklace on either Sarah or Winifred. So, altogether, I think 2 out of the 3 I'd be like, oh, they're the Sanderson sisters. Sarah, you might have to be like, oh no, I'm Sarah. If you were without the other 2 for a couple of minutes, I wouldn't know who you are. I'm sorry. I wouldn't know who that is. I'd be like, who are you supposed to be? So yeah, they look great though. Probably the most accurate so far. But we've got one more group left, and you're going, wait, there's one more group? Yes, there is. There's one more group in the very back that we see for a split second. And I want to give these people their dues. Because, and I don't say this lightly, they didn't need to be covered up. Because they actually look pretty darn good. So I'm gonna call them the background sisters. It's kind of hard to see them, but I like what I see. What I can see. Again, left to right, starting with Mary. The Mary is probably the most accurate. This is definitely I thrifted this, but I also adjusted this. Thrifted with some homemade elements. And the elements work. They are also some of the only ones who have capes. I would like to point that out. They actually involved capes. No one else did. So, points for the capes. And this color scheme is actually right for this Mary. I'm impressed with how accurate the orange and the maroonish vest are. I'm shocked that this is so good and they hid this in the background. Like, I'm actually kind of mad about that. You flashed to every group except for this one, and that's not fair. So, the color scheme is accurate in a way that I was like, I knew immediately, oh, you're Mary. I like it. That's probably the most accurate vest so far. But I can't tell. I'm doing my best to see, but I don't think this Mary has rings on the bottom of her vest. So minus the vest on that one, which is kind of a bummer because that would have been a perfect vest otherwise. The cut on the shirt is right. The makeup, I don't know if she's got... If I focus my eyes, because this is a very tiny picture that I had to blow up. No, I can't tell. It's too small if I do it like that. Okay. The makeup seems pretty accurate. I can only see, like, the vest area and the cape. Which is so unfortunate. I was trying to get it after Kathy moved, but I couldn't snap it quick enough. So, I don't think that was gonna be a thing. But, and I think the earrings are actually correct, on this one. So, good job. Or at least a little more accurate. Makeup is good. No attempt at a crooked mouth, but I don't think anybody attempted that. Which I can't blame them because it is hard. But effort. But effort, please. So that's alright. I want to talk about the wig. Because that's the best wig out of all of them. And I'm, again, not saying that lightly. It has the purple highlights. It has the correct dark undertone. It has the correct shape. It even has the bangs that I'm very happy to see. This Mary, if I looked at that person, I'd go, you're Mary Sanderson. Immediately. Like, I have to give this Mary her props. She did good. Did very good. So, that's all I can say about her because I can't see all of her costume, which is a really big bummer because I would like to see the rest of it. And we're going to move on to the Winifred of the background sisters. Again, I think this was probably more of a thrifted outfit with some adjustments. Again, we got a cape. Gotta write down my thing. Hang on. My handwriting is getting worse as this is going on. Alright, Winifred was thrifted with adjustments. Got a cape. We got a cape. Nobody else had capes. Good job. Good job. And the shades of green are actually a little bit more accurate too. Not necessarily as accurate as the mom from Family Dynamic. Gotta give her props there. I think mom put in the most effort in that group. Shades of green are great. Well, they're good. I won't say they're great, but they're good. An attempt at a clasp was made. I think it's a little bit more of a belt situation, but it isn't an accurate clasp, but there was an attempt made at a clasp. So while it might be a belt, it's okay. It's okay. I'm not gonna say it's good. I will say it's okay. Um, the dress pattern actually looks good. I don't think it's accurate, to say, but the dress pattern looks good. Uh, I could tell it was a Winifred-ish pattern. I'll say it's acceptable. I think the I think the pattern here again gets beat out by the mom from Family Dynamic. But I like it a little better than the one that the drag sister had. Just because hers was more stripes and this one has some attempt at shaping. Um, Nothing against the stripes too much, but again, I'm looking for accuracy, and this just seems a little bit more accurate. Um, I'm trying to see if there's any other details of the costume that I can see from here. Again, this is a really crappy picture, but it's the only one I could get because they're the only ones who didn't get a flash to them, and it's really annoying. Um, so yeah, it doesn't look too bad. I think the sleeves are standardish, maybe a little flow, so I'm gonna have to dock them for that one. Uh, but again, I think if I looked at this person, I'd be like, oh, Winifred. Um, which brings me to hair and makeup. Hair was decently done, and I don't think it's a wig. I think that's more of a used natural hair, um, which is good because that is not an easy style to do. So major points there, and the color is correct. That actually echoes first movie Winifred color. Um, so like, good job on that. Uh, so the hair looks really good. She even got the little strand hanging down. Like, good job. I like that little detail. I'm gonna write that down so I can give you a point for that. Because don't want to forget to do that. That wouldn't be fair. So write that down real quick. Um, Makeup is good. We do have eyebrows going on. Makeup is acceptable. I'll say acceptable slash good. Um, the rosebud lips and the attempt at actually doing the rosebud lips. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Um, you did good. You done good, kid. Good shade of lipstick as well. Got the rosy cheeks for once. Uh, there's only 2 people who have done that so far, and good job on you guys. But we do have our eyebrows kind of showing, which is a problem, but I understand. Cause it sucks. But there's no eyeshadow going on. So that's a bit of a minus. That's what put them from good to acceptable. Um, I hate saying that, but it is what it is. So that's all I really have to say for Winnie. That's really good. So let's move on to our final contestant, which is the Sarah of the group, and I think she might be the mom of the group. So I feel like this is a mom and her kids, or an aunt and her nieces or something. I feel like this is another family dynamic, but they were in the background, so the background sisters. Woof. Why are the Sarahs the ones that are getting, like, the worst ratings? Like, why are they the ones that I'm giving the most heck to? This should not be that hard. It shouldn't be that hard to get this look right. Oh god, that is so thrifted. That is all caps thrifted, possibly even closet cosplay. Which, again, nothing wrong with closet cosplay. I have done that before to make my Animaniacs costume for Yakko Warner. But in this case, woofa doofa. Woof. I can't even tell what that is. I think it's a dress that got like a wrap over the shoulders. It's a pink dress that has a shiny bust. Um, so I feel like it's one of those things she found in the closet and went, oh hey, or she was at the store and went, oh hey. There is no attempt at a pattern for Sarah's embroidery. I think this is going to come down to who has the best Mary and Winifred, unfortunately. Um, which all the Sarahs have been fair to middling. Been fair to middling. Which is kind of sad. But again, big plus, we got a cape. So, plus for that point. The makeup actually looks accurate. I can't say much about the rest of the dress because that's all I can see. The dress itself is making me go, oof! But I think this might have the most accurate makeup out of all of them. I think this might have the most accurate makeup out of everybody. And I can't believe I'm saying that because they were in the background. So, holy moly. Good for you. She got the eyeshadow right. She got the eyebrow meeting the eyeshadow right. I'm pretty sure I see the freckle over here, albeit on the wrong side. The lipstick is the correct shade. She's the first person who got that right. The hair is pretty well correct too. Maybe a little too straight, but if we're going for the Easter egg, like in the first movie of goes bone straight and then curly, hair is all right. It's acceptable. It's probably on the good side, because she got the side part correct. Again, somebody actually got the fucking thing right. I'll even give her a point for that one. Part is good. The dress is the only thing that's throwing me, because that just doesn't look like a Sarah dress. It doesn't. It doesn't look like a Sarah dress. Well, that's all the notes I've got for these people. So now it's time to crown the winner of the Sanderson Sister Costume Contest the correct way. I'll do ranking. How about that? I'll go rank of first, second, third, fourth. Because out of 4 groups. So, going back, I hate putting them in last place because Mama put in some effort. Mama did put in some effort. But 4th place is going to have to go to group 1, which is family dynamic. There was just too much minimal effort. There was like no effort put in. I feel like it was almost the mom's idea to get the kid to do it and to get the dad to do it. Neither of them really wanted to do it, so there was like very little effort made by those 2 parties. Mom looked good. But because the other 2 didn't really care, it kind of hit them in the rough spot. Now, I have to go and I'm not doing this because I'm salty. I'm doing this because 2 out of the 3, I wouldn't know who the heck they were supposed to be. So 3rd place, and they only get 3rd place because I think they put in a little more effort. They did a little more work. 3rd goes to the Sandersonettes. But when the problem is, I don't know who 2 out of the 3 of your group is, and you're supposed to be a group of 3 characters, that's the problem, bro. That's the problem. The prom dress Sarah and the Winifred who didn't look like Winifred is what murdered them. That's what murdered them there. I have to say, I'm sorry, you two kind of screwed the pooch. But you put in more effort than the other group, so I have to give you points for that, and I'm proud of you for that. Now, this is where things are going to get a little dicier for me, because I'm almost tied between the last 2, and I can't believe I'm saying that for a group that we didn't see much of. The background sisters did a really good job. They did. The Mary looked great. Out of all of them, I would straight up look at her and go, oh, you're Mary Sanderson. Easy. Easy. But Sarah really hurt them. The Sarah really hurt them. And some of the issues, minor as they be, with Winnie also kind of hurt them, but they got smaller details that other people didn't, which I'm very happy about. Sarah had the best makeup out of everybody. Mary had the best wig out of everybody. I have to say that. 100% the 2 of them did great. The Winifred was just average. She was just average. So, does an average plus a great plus a oof beat out 2 people in the Drag Sisters group who were good, with one that I was like, I don't know that I would know who you are. So there were 2, I can see who you are, to 1, I don't know who you are. Or a really good, a I know who you are, and a if you're with the other 2, I got it, but if you're on your own, I have no idea who you're supposed to be. Well, for the most part, again, the makeup kind of helped her out. So, 1 really good, 1 good, and 1 acceptable, to 2 really good, and 1 I don't know who you are. This is where I really got to add the points up. The other 2 kind of explain themselves. I'm going to let editing Casey cut away while I debate this.
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a new one.
Alright, I finally finished judging. I had to do math. I had to calculate points. One group had more points total because I had to judge more details because they put more details into their outfits, and I think that actually was what won them the thing. So second place goes to the background sisters. They did a really good job. I just couldn't see enough details of their stuff for me to see if they edged out the winners. But they did really good. Their Mary was the best looking Mary out of all of them. If Winifred had had more effort in, I think they could have at least overtaken first, but Sarah killed them. Killed them. So, but still, they got second place. First place goes to the Drag Sisters. I have to say it, and I'm not saying this biased or being like, yeah, the drag queens are gonna win. No, they won because they homemade their outfits. They put the most effort into their stuff. They had the most accuracies and little details added. That spider clip, the clasps, that stuff is what kind of put them over the edge. They were very meticulous. They had the little details. And when it's the little details that get there, and I'm like, you noticed that? Okay. That puts you over the edge. I'm sorry. If anybody's upset about this, I'm sorry. But I literally sat here for about 5-10 minutes mulling over the two, going through scoring. I've got so many notes. So I had to go with my gut, and as soon as I saw those little Easter egg kind of tiny details that were added in, I'm like, yeah, that puts them over the edge. So the drag sisters actually should have won the costume contest and not the sexy nurse kind of thing, not the sexy Sandersons. I'm sorry, the Sandersonettes, 2 out of 3 of you, I couldn't see who you were. I couldn't tell who you were supposed to be. So there you go. That's who should have actually won the Sanderson Sisters Costume contest. So this was a long video, and I'm sorry, but I am a cosplayer, and I'm very detail-oriented. That's why I've got 4 pages, 8 pages of notes in here. A lot of notes. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't. It's free. It helps me. What helps me helps you guys get more great content like this. Thursday, I'm back over on Twitch with more 4th place Pokemon Omicron. It might just be an episode of me grinding because I really don't know what we're going to be doing yet. So you might just get to come hang out with me and hear some funny stories or ask me questions, whatever, and that'll be at our usual time. And then Saturday night, I'm back here with more Black Flame Gaming, and Sarah Sanderson plays Pokemon Diamond Randomized Nuzlocke right here on the channel. So far, so good, I must say, even though our encounters last time were garbage. Maybe they'll get better. Maybe they'll get better this time. We'll see what happens. So join me for that at the usual time, I believe, unless there is anything changed on the schedule. I can't remember at the moment. So if you're regular on this channel, please remember to drop a like, share your thoughts on this judging and the result down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Casey Zogelman, aka the 4th Sanderson Sister, and I'll see you witches and wizards later.